I have the seasonal BL series this time
Yeah.
What?
around.
Stole that
Yeah,
shit.
Why? Why'd you steal it from Spire?
I have Ganbare Nakamura-kun, also known
Oh,
as
right,
Go
it's
For It
this one.
Nakamura-kun.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So yeah, this is a BL series. This is a manga adaptation. Um, this is being done by Studio Drive. Studio Drive is probably best known for now, I would say, for like the later seasons of Konosuba. Um, by later I mean around the time, like what was it, 3, the OVAs, and also the
They did the movie, didn't they? Or was that still Dean?
that's a very good question. I think that was still Dean, right? Because this was not the movie. I believe they are the
Correct.
yeah, no, they just did the spin-off Megumin series, not the movie.
Oh, right. Gotcha.
But yeah, so yeah, I guess to get into premise, this is about Ogito Nakamura is a timid, gloomy-looking student who cherishes only two things in this world: his pet octopus and his kind-hearted classmate Aiki Hirose. Ever since the school entrance ceremony, Nakamura has admired his jovial classmate, albeit from a distance due to his poor social skills. After mustering up all courage within him, he finally decides to talk to Hirose. During this attempt to make contact, an instinctive mistake turns the idea of friendship into a distant dream as Nakamura creates a hilarious impression on his crush. At school, students are expected to cross. Well, yeah, and then basically, in general, it just turns into Nakamura and Hirose kind of like getting paired up
Okay.
during like school functions. So not yet. um, Unfortunately, yeah. So this is a BL series. It's pretty standard, I would say, in like
It's
that as in the
one-sided
BL aspects
datum,
of it.
right?
As of right now, yeah. There have been like some hintings that Hirose might also be gay. Though there are also hintings like of Nakamura being bi, which is kind of interesting. Though he
Yeah.
calls himself gay. Um, but yeah, obviously, I think
How do you
one
know the
of
difference?
because he refers to there's a scene where both this like twin braids girl, Fujo girl, uh, falls asleep like on his shoulder along with Hirose, and he gets like excited and says something along the lines of like, "Oh, I'm caught between two cuddly classmates." Um, and yeah, let me just adjust the image down just so that like some of the more important characters are more in frame, like Hirose. But yeah, so as far as our cast goes, obviously you have Nakamura, you have Hirose, being voiced by um, Yuki Sakaki Kihara. Did I say that? I don't know. Either way, um, yeah, I mean, obviously he's gotten around a lot. I would say probably most recently, the most notable role would be Kirara Hoshi in Jujutsu Kaisen, the like femboy character.
Woke mind virus.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
trans, actually.
Oh,
Canonically,
really?
by the way. Yes.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Yeah, spoiler alert. I haven't kept up with Jujutsu Kaisen
Yeah,
season
I think
3. So
I'm almost 100% confident that Gege confirmed that they were trans. So
Oh, okay.
yeah.
But yeah, so I have not kept up with JJK. But that would make sense. Let's see. Yeah, anyway, so yeah, he's doing a great job. He does a very, very cute voice for Hirose. It is almost what is this? Why am I like blanking on his name? Voice actor for like Venti and stuff.
Oh.
Ayumu Murase. Yeah, There you go.
Yeah.
I don't know how I was blanking on his name. But yeah, very, very reminiscent of something like that for this role, at least. Just probably like not quite as high pitched. And then Nakamura is being voiced by Chiaki Kobayashi. He has done quite a lot. I would say probably the most recent and closest thing he's done really has been Stark in Gurren. So very, very similar voice. But he does have like his more excited, what would you call it, deliveries have been very, very fun. And I think they've been bouncing off each other very well. And then other than that, yeah, then we have Otagiri So, one of the teachers, the sort of like main teacher of the crew. And he is being voiced by Eguchi Takuya. And let's see. And yeah, so that would be, I mean, probably the most famous role now would be Lloyd Forger in Spy Family. And then we have Fido Zai as the Twin Tails girl. So obviously, like, and then yeah, I'm not gonna get into the rest of the cast, but overall, like, you can tell it's a pretty packed cast, like pretty star-studded stuff. So that's been great. The back and forths with the characters probably like the highlight, right? Because there's a lot of comedy. There is a lot of BL stuff, obviously, but not like, at least as of right now, it hasn't gotten like too crazy because there's really no relationship forming yet, other than like a slight friendship. I would say the highlight for this series is definitely the audio visuals right now. The manga itself as well is very well drawn, very nice, very cute. The style was adapted very, very well. It's very like 80s, early 90s anime. Maybe like, actually, yeah, maybe like mid early 80s.
Takahashi-esque, I would say.
Yeah. So that's been very, very cool to see, because the adaptation for the anime is very nice. It's very, very polished, which I guess you can kind of expect from Drive at this point, especially with what they have under their belt now with a lot of the Konosuba stuff. They kind of really step up from there. The other thing, I would say the music is also very, very fun. There's a lot of really good, really entertaining background tracks that are quite nice. And the opening and endings. So I'm into the opening is really nice. It's what is it? Shunpatsu Teki ni Kyoshu. And that's by Yasuyuki Okamura and Kento Nakajima. The visuals are pretty fun. It's, again, like, obviously the character styles are similar, but it's like a weirdish, almost crayon-esque drawing type thing with some of it. I would say the real interesting part starts to get into the EDs, which every episode has a completely different ED. But don't get too excited. Because it's not Chainsaw Man level where you're like, wow, I'm getting something totally different with new tracks or something. So every single ED has had a song from the 80s and 90s that has been licensed out. And the visuals they're using for them are usually something that's like, what would you call it? It's not like a still. It's like a semi, like, partially animated scene that kind of like loops for it. It's like related to the happenings of the episode itself. So let me see if I could find something cool, something good here. Go ED1. I will link that in our chat. But yeah, ED1 is, let's see, that, and then I'll do ED2. And so yeah, these are just, they're very like mini like animated scenes. It's almost like, think about the animated scene that was, the classic lo-fi hip hop beats. The too, something like that. But a lot of them have been very cute. The way they tie into the episode or like lead off of the end of the episode has been very, very nice. I think that's like a really kind of a cool way to do a simpler ED like this. Like, what would technically be the quote unquote next scene that would have happened turning into like an ED, like a looped ED animation. I think is a pretty nice idea. And the music obviously has been very, very good. Because there are some very, very fun choices, very good song choices. So we have like Hatsukoi by Kozu Murashita for the first one, which I believe was like, when I looked it up, it was like 1983 release. And yeah, so there's a lot of theming like that. They kind of know for this version like what's really selling with this, which is nice. And I guess I could get into a little bit of the story. So, at least for me, I think the story so far has been fine. It's doing, it's not doing. I would say the BL stuff right now, at least, has not been like the most unique, because there hasn't been like too much of it. But I think I kind of appreciate that they're going a little bit more of like, not even a will they won't they. It's more of like a heavier on like comedy and like situational comedy and comedic moments more so, and then trying to tie in sort of Nakamura sheepishly trying to introduce himself to Hirose or get to know Hirose more than the like a BL series of just like kind of throwing you in there and like throwing these characters into each other and stuff like that. Which I think is pretty good. I think it's at least pretty good for pacing. Like if we're gonna do a little bit of a will they won't they, or if we're gonna do like a longer winded, even like will he in regards to Nakamura. I think that doing it this way has definitely been better than not, better than some series. I think the way so far it's been handling the actual BL stuff and the relationship status of that and like Hifumi Kawamura, the like Fido's Eye voiced twin braids girl, I think that has been pretty solid too. There's been some stuff that's been a little bit in your face, like in your face about like they gave Hirose the classic line like when they're in a BL manga store being like, "Oh, I think it's fine for people to like what they like and shit like that." But very very eye rolly type stuff where it's like, okay, like that's cute that you say that, but well, why don't we live in reality in Japan for a little bit here and kind of dig a little deeper. But it doesn't have to get that deep, at least so far. I would like to see, obviously, in all of these series like this, I'd like to see a little bit more, digging on that, which would be cool. It's hinting as if it might, I believe. From what I've seen from the author, it seems like she would have done that. She might be getting into that, which would be cool. So that would be nice. So Spire's asking, is this supposed to have an after story kind of thing sometime down the road? I don't know, and I'm not really sure. And if there is, it's going to be a very long time before it gets to that, I would imagine. Because we are 4 episodes in and we have not gotten to like even really a
Manga still ongoing or
you know what? That's a very good question. Let me see. No, the manga finished. It did a run from 2014 to 2016, actually. Wow, that's interesting.
does it have a sequel? It does.
It does. So Ganbare. 2017 to 2021. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
I'm
the
reading the
sequel
synopsis of the
manga
manga. That seems to be an after story
Yeah.
type deal, at least from what I'm seeing of them
Not
in a
not
relationship.
yeah.
Quite
It's
after
not
story.
it's not like far in the future or anything, but it is kind of like them.
Yeah, it's like no.
Post high school or whatever.
Yeah. So that's interesting. But yeah, I think as far as like the way it's been bouncing off and the mix of the audio visuals with the more comedic elements, I think is definitely carrying the series through what would normally be a much more boring experience otherwise if it wasn't so strong in that. And the obviously the voice acting has been also really, really good. That certainly doesn't hurt either to keep you engaged. And yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else that's like really, really super notable about it. I don't really think so, though. This is definitely a much lighter, at least as of right now, BL series. Yeah. Oh yeah, and there are plenty of scenes at least so far cut through that are like more comedic stuff that definitely shows like audiovisual chops when it comes up, and it is not based on like episode 1 having some big blowout and then like the follow-up episodes not having much. So that's been nice too. But yeah, I think overall not really a ton, not a ton else to say. I think I would rate this pretty high. I would give this, at least as of right now, I'd probably give this like a 7.5 to an 8. I don't think like, I think it could be doing a little bit more with certain aspects of it, but I think like audio visual wise it's been so strong that that definitely gives it like even more bonus points. And then again, like the story not being obnoxious or the sort of like beating around the bush, the spokes on a wheel type thing, at least is carried by like stronger comedic moments and comedic audio visuals uh, that definitely come together. So it doesn't feel like it's really like slowing down or anything at any point in time. And then I guess this is
But here's a real
probably
question.
something.
Real,
What?
Doc, here's a real question. How good is the BL stuff? Is it good?
That's what I mean. Like it's good, but I think it's good because it's more of a lighter touch right now. Like it's not as like aggressive as other series trying to like pull BL stuff, but also do like a will they, won't they at the same time. Um, because yeah, like I'm not even saying like it would be a problem if they did like a full-fledged like BL and like relationships of either yet. Especially because like obviously like there's a sequel that does seem to become more a relationship, which that's also fine too. The thing that would get that gets kind of annoying to me is when it's a BL series like that that's running sort of the same routes as everything else anyway, and then not really offering anything else more other than being like, yeah, but these are our characters in like our scenarios. And really, the only thing that's separating it is kind of like theming and character design, stuff like that, right? Because you wouldn't want, like, I don't want to read like or watch something that's just like a BL palette swap, effectively, right? I want something with a little bit of a different story. Um, and I think this is at least offering like a good variety with the amount of comedy that's in it, right? The BL stuff does not take up. Well, no, I can't really say that. It's the problem is that like it's such a vague notion, right? Because like quote like technically the BL stuff takes up all of the time if you think about it because it's a BL series. But it doesn't really hang up on a lot of BL tropes in the same way or BL scenarios in the same way because it bounces into the comedic scenarios and kind of like weaves that in. So that has definitely been a boon in that sense. I guess the other thing would be I could talk a little bit like very briefly about the drama with the author that had happened recently apparently on Twitter. Um
Uh-huh.
yeah, this might be something worth like cutting up or some shit. Just to speak briefly on it, apparently the author was Okay, so here's the problem, right? Apparently, like, so the story was that the author was apparently like bullied off of Twitter for some shit where like they were trying to say that the anime like censored a part, and then people were giving her shit for the manga and being like the manga was like amoral or something,
What?
and that they won because it was censored. But the problem is that on Twitter, no one likes to source anything, right? Because everyone who's still using Twitter in back and forth, it's like the first time I've tried to look at a back and forth like thread on Twitter in fucking ages,
Yeah, it's
and that
not a
was a
good,
mess.
not a
It's
good
not a good
experience.
experience at all. Like, okay, so that's the thing. Spire saying there's a teacher-student thing. I didn't see that. That was the thing. No one linked that. No one said anything about that. I didn't see anything with teacher-student stuff at all. Didn't see anything of it. In fact,
Sure.
again, like I wasn't able to find the inciting incident. I wasn't even able to find who was quote unquote bullying the author. The only thing I was able to find was that the author did indeed delete their Twitter. Which it's like, first of all, good. First of all, good. Delete your Twitter. Shouldn't be on there anyway.
Yeah.
But the main the only thing that I had seen, which wasn't even what is it? Wasn't even it wasn't in the show. Again, it wasn't sourced. Like it was just someone posting it. Like this is the problem with this whole scenario. Was it would be like me asking Nier, like, hey man, what even happened with this like thing? And then Nier just being like, yeah, here's a panel from the manga that people took issue with. And it's like, okay, but why the fuck would I believe you? Like you're offering me nothing. You're just posting a panel.
Yeah.
You're saying this is what people took issue with. And I have no fucking idea if that's the case because no one's linking to any of the harassment. No one's linking to anything other than being like than a screenshot of the author's Twitter being closed. And I'm like, that doesn't mean anything to me. Like I don't see anything. So how, like, for all I know, that's not why they deleted their Twitter. Um and yeah, so like two things on that then. There was like the only thing that I saw linked was like some octopus panel or some like page with Hirose where he's like basically being like molested by octopus tentacles in a fantasy of Nakamura. And it was, I mean, it really wasn't even like graphic or anything either. He's just getting like wrapped up basically. Um to which I was like, that doesn't seem like something that would have enough steam. Um, to which then, like, all of this to say, it got me to thinking that, like, this quote unquote harassment that made them. Let's put it this way: when trying to search for this harassment, the only things I was seeing, and people have definitely had this experience before too, right? Where all you see is people talking about it, right? They're just talking about the thing, and they're all fucking vague posting about this thing and being like, "Oh my god, I can't believe you guys harassed this author. Oh my god, I can't believe you guys did this. This author deleted their thing." For example, like one of the bigger tweets on it was literally like Chibi Reviews fucking tweeting about it. And it's like, first
Yeesh.
of all, if you're still liking Chibi Reviews tweets, like you're out of your fucking mind. Like you're off your
Yeah.
rocker. You need to get your fucking head checked. You need to get your head checked, and if you have a significant other, you need to check on them. Okay? Because who knows at this point. But
Yeah.
like the main thing is like, yeah, you get guys like that just like making these fucking vague posts being like, this is like why blah blah blah, or like these people hate censorship, like and now like they're pro censorship or something like that. Like he was saying some dumb shit. Is a bunch of people saying the dumbest fucking things imaginable, but then no one's linking to anything. No one's linking to mean tweets. I think there was like one tweet that wasn't even like, it might have been a mean tweet, but it was like translated from Spanish by like a fucking Japanese person and then translated into English anyway. So I'm like, well, this could mean fucking nothing, especially on Twitter, because it's fucking Twitter auto translate, which is worthless now. Like, it doesn't do anything because no one knows what anyone's saying anymore. And that's just a problem with Twitter in general. But also, it's like, again, like I believe this didn't even have likes. Like, it had no traction, and I'm like, okay, so you're showing me now 2 comments that don't even have an initial, like the like start of the chain, and it's just like, yeah, tame bullshit from like a Twitter egg. And so I can only assume that this author was literally bullied off Twitter by a bunch of like Twitter eggs that don't even fucking speak Japanese, and like we're just saying shit. And at that point, it could have just been fucking like one person running bots, or with fucking alt accounts at that point. And it's like, to me, I'm just like, that's crazy to me that you're getting fucking bullied off of a platform by some shit that has no traction at all. And it's just like, it's wild to me. I don't think, I don't know, when was this person even born? Brother, they were born in 1990. So they're fucking 35 years old. And if you're a whole ass 35-year-old and you're getting bullied off of a fucking platform by people, I think it's time to just like take a break. I think it's time to take a fucking break. Yeah.
So.
It's like, it's so crazy to me because it's like, look, sometimes you could feel bad, or you could let it get a little bit under your skin. Ultimately, it's like, at this point, it's like, if you're 35 years old and you're like seeing people tweet at you in any way and it's affecting you more than you being like, I'm angry that I now am seeing someone who is like a stupid bug. Like, I don't like that I had to see that because it's really fucking dumb. If you're like, oh man, you're being mean to me, so I'm like taking my ball and leaving, or like letting it genuinely like impact my mental health, it's like, yeah, it is time. Like, yeah, delete your Twitter and like see someone, because like it's crazy. Like, let's fucking relax. We got a lot more going on than a bunch of fucking eggs on Twitter. Which, again, I say a bunch. I literally, like I said, I saw one comment that was double translated. So, as far as I understand, that one egg on Twitter is what caused all this, if at all. But yeah, I just figured, like, may as well talk about that because that was happening, that gained like some traction. And like I said, the main part of the traction was people like fucking like chibi reviews and stuff using it to just get like bullshit likes and stuff like that. And a bunch of people talking about like anime tourists who are literally the epitome of anime tourists. They're anime tourists, but they're also pedophiles, so they think that they're not anime tourists. Anyway, that's my series. That's Ganbare Nakamura-kun. Again, I would highly recommend checking it out. I would recommend honestly checking it out if you just want a cute series with like good audio visuals, whether or not you're into BL series or not. I think it's worth a shot. I think it's worth looking at. I think it's got a lot of really cool vibes. And yeah, like I said, my rating was a 7.5 to an 8. I hope it keeps it up. I hope it keeps the audio visuals up. And depending on what it does with that, maybe the score will go up. Maybe it'll solidify itself at a 7.5. Not really sure yet. A little too early to tell with like the first 4 episodes. But visually though, it definitely kept it up. So hope to see more.